Hey, this is Matt once again. What about the videos? The paid request from this time my dear friend Efree. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this time my friend Efree wanted me to compare Predator 2 versus I Come in Peace versus Split Second. Kind of a versus topic. Well, not kinda, it is. And all three of these films, of course, the similarity is one, they're all in the 90s, early 90s. Number two, they all deal with a cop being our lead character. Number three is a cop dealing with a sci fi horror element of the plot. Now, all three of these films I love. I really do. All three of these films I think are underrated. All the three of these films I have on Blu-ray. And I would say this. Quick answer, Predator 2, I Come in Peace, Split Second. To rank them. The long answer, Predator 2, for those who don't even know, because I always assume people watch these, they already know and see my videos, but in case they didn't, Predator 2 is one of my personal favorite movies. I think it's a completely underrated sequel. I think Danny Glover does a fantastic job as Mike Harrigan. I think it has a relentless pace where it delves deeper, a bit more deeper into the Predator lore, introducing new weapons, the inner workings of the ship, seeing other Predators, but at the same time doesn't do anything to ruin the lore a la The Predator did. There are elements that are similar to the first, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a remake of the first. So yes, there's elements, for example, a one-on-one fight at the end, and your hero running towards camera while something blows up and he flies off. And, there are elements that are similar to the first, but unlike Predators, it still feels like its own movie. I love the city backdrop. I disagree with Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that's a bad idea. No, to me it was a good idea, because if you just go back to the jungle, it just feels like a regurgitation, which Predators, in my opinion, was. It's one of the many reasons why I was not a fan of that film. Danny Glover's a badass. You have great one-liners. It's like, you cut off my dick, you shoving up my ass. Wonderful supporting cast featuring Bill Paxton, Robert Davi, Gary Busey, Ruben Blades, Marita Conchita Alonso, another good score by Alan Silvestri, and a Predator racking a good body count. It's R-rated, it doesn't feel neutered, and has a good chunk of action and a lot of attributes that really create an underrated sequel. I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren. It's my favorite Dolph Lundgren film. It'd be easily in my top 10 favorite films where I could pop in anytime and love it. I love the Hans Zimmer. That'd be a different score. But the Jan Hammer, I'm bad with names. The same guy who did the score for the Miami Vice TV show did a fantastic job on the music. Dolph Lundgren is a cop, teams up with an FBI agent played by Brian Benben, where they deal with an alien drug dealer from outer space. And I think it's a very unique concept, especially for its time. This alien, big, powerful presence played by Matthias Hughes that will shoot CDs out of his wrist and bounce off walls and cut people's necks, slam people down, jam spikes into their head, and then suck up an endorphin juices from our brains, because that's the alien's drug of choice. And he's collected enough to go back and sell them. And if people love them, then more aliens will come. It's a very unique concept. I like the back and forth banter between Dolph and Brian Benben. It's typical, but I like the art of Brian, where he goes from a uptight FBI agent to be much more loose and much more trying to be a bit like Dolph. Dressed in one of Dolph's old coats from back in the day. Yeah, it was mine when I was 12. I thought we should go kick some ass. Loose on procedures, more on kicking ass and wanting to do the right thing. I think Dolph and Brian work very well together. That's another film that has a very fast pace. It's just a lot of fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch I Come in Peace. Split Second, also a buddy cop film, also a sci-fi film. This one takes place at the time it was the future in London, where because of a lot of rain and global warming, a lot of London is flooded. And Rutger Hauer plays a character who is obsessed with chocolate and caffeine and coffee. He had an experience where this creature killed a friend of his, wounded him, so he now has this bit of a psychic link. Teams up with Neil Duncan, aka Alistair Duncan, who follows him all around and is supposed to keep tabs on him. And like Brian Benman goes on an arc where he at first is uptight guy, but then gets more and more crazy, and even more try to be like Rutger Hauer compared to Brian being like Dolph, where he sees crazy stuff. He's like, we need big fucking guns, and really enjoy the arc of his character. I like the back and forth between those two. I think they have really good chemistry. You have Kim Cattrall there as the love interest. You have a cool looking creature, almost looks like a version of Venom. The reason I put it third, although I really enjoy it, I enjoy the low budget. I think they did a good job making it look like everything's flooded and wet and dank. And Rutger Hauer gives a wonderful performance. It's one of my favorite roles of his. I like some of the little gory bits, like the it's a creature, but it's also a serial killer, which is kind of a cool motif. And leaving hearts in our hero's fridge to mess with him and tease him. It's just I would put it a bit lower on the list compared to the first two for really two reasons. Number one, I wish it had more action, and that's probably one of the reasons why the original director was fired. The guy who directed The Burning, and then they got a different guy who seemed like much more of a technical stunt guy to film a bit more of an action-packed finale. The rest of the film doesn't have a lot of action. Granted, I'm still enjoying it because I like the music and the locations, the set design, the two lead performances. I like Kim Cattrall, who has the Star Trek 6 haircut because she was filming that around the same time. But I do wish it had a bit more action, a bit more punch, which the first two definitely do. Also, the creature, the mystery of it, the plot of it, it's a bit foggy as to what this creature is. I mean, they do tell elements of it. If he thinks he's Satan, then he's going to be really pissed. Actually, the line is, now that I think about it, is, well, Satan is in deep shit. Because Alistair does like, I don't think this thing thinks he's Satan. I think he is Satan. And then Rutger Hauer's like, well, then Satan is in deep shit. See, lines like that I really enjoy and like. See, that's the actual line. Still really enjoy it, but yeah, it's a bit foggy as to what this thing really is. Was it human, and through ritual sacrifice became this creature? Was it an actual creature to begin with? Again, it's a bit foggy, but I still really enjoy it. But that, and not having as much action as I wish it did, puts a little bit lower on the 3 tier. And then between Predator 2 and I Come in Peace, it's tough, but I would give it to Predator 2. As much as I love I Come in Peace, I do think Predator 2 had a bit more of a budget, so it has a little bit more of a slick look to it. It feels a bit bigger. Although I Come in Peace has a lot of action for its low budget. A lot of action. It's really commendable. And it's great to see Dolph get a bit physical and do a little bit of martial arts on the creature, which you should not be doing on the Predator, of course. Unless you're Jean-Claude Van Damme. But I don't mind it, but at the same time, it tries to put a little bit of love story in I Come in Peace. And well, again, it's fine. It's one of those, it's fine, but I liked it. But it's one of the only times it really slows the movie down. It's kind of this 50-50 where I don't mind it, but it's one of the few times it slows the film down. Predator 2, I can't think of any scenes that really slow that film down. From the get-go, it opens with a big punch with this big war with the Jamaican drug gangs, and then it just goes and goes and goes. And I can't think of, it's like all the fat was cut out of Predator 2. It's just a lean cuisine. Even like beating, Teen Willie, and how unique that character is. Like, each scene builds upon itself until the finale. Also, it doesn't have a gang called the White Boys. As much as this other villainous group of bad guys, they're yuppie villains. I kind of like the idea of yuppie villains in I Come in Peace. But the fact they're called the White Boys is a very weird description. Like, why are they called the White Boys? I mean, even if it's as generic as the Yuppies, or, I don't know, the one percenters, where they feel the 1% genuine article, or whatever name. I mean, I'm surprised they weren't called the American Males or something. It's a bit weird. So there's a little bit, nitpicks here and there. Teeniest nitpicks, but I love I Come in Peace to death. I will defend that film. I like the song Touch Me Tonight at the end, but I don't know how the hell that works in the film. Just at the end of I Come in Peace, it's Touch Me Tonight. Now, I don't know what the hell that has to do with the rest of the movie. Is it supposed to be between the love story between Dolph and his girlfriend? But it's like we're dealing with an alien drug dealer from outer space, and he's killing people and taking their endorphins out of their brains. And I like the song, but it's like, touch me tonight. It's like, at least The Blob, Brave New Love. I'm like, okay, I like Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith a lot. I like that little bit of love story. I could buy it a bit more in that. Touch me tonight. It's just a weird lyric, like, touch me tonight, or suck my dick until you're tight, But Predator 2, like, it works with Danny Glover. Of the three, it's the only one that's not a buddy cop film, which I'm sure if they did, it'd be even more compared to Lethal Weapon, because Danny Glover is most famous for the buddy cop Lethal Weapon films. But it made it a bit more dangerous, where Danny had to face the Predator by himself, and the fact that it was left to him because his team was either killed or injured, like Maria Conchita Alonso. So the fact that he has to go at the creature alone, while I Come in Peace is split second, it's a buddy team. I still love it in those movies, but with Danny Glover by himself, it made the stakes risen a bit more, because he had to fend for himself, whether it be in the slaughterhouse with the shotgun, whether it be on the rooftop, whether it be in the inner workings of the Predator ship. He had to take the Predator out, them and him alone. While I do like the finales in the first two, the other two, Danny Glover, him taking on the Predator by himself is pretty damn badass. And if you think about it, he does better than even Arnold. And that's another thing why I put Predator 2 above the other two, is that Predator 2 had a tougher battle. You got Predator, you got a classic with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers and all Jesse Ventura, Bill Duke, going with the cast, to make, to me, a classic, which is another favorite of mine, my favorite Arnold film. To make a sequel that is as damn good as it is, that in my opinion, I feel it's even better than the first. I know I'm alone in that, and I love Predator 1 to death. I do. But Predator 2, with its relentless pace, and the new Predator toys, and the inner workings of the ship, and all the other stuff added in, yet a bit of Dylan being a turncoat, but he wasn't really. He kind of was, but he was still friends with Dutch. Here you have like these human villains as well as these a Predator villain. So a little bit more going on with the plot. It's a tall order, and I think Predator 2 made that work and then some. But I would say all three are worth a look. All three are damn good. All three are solid entries. And I love all three of them. But at the end, if I have to pick the top, I go with Predator 2. Then I come with Peace, and then Split Second. But, all are fun, all are entertaining, all are underrated. And if you're a fan of those type of films, all three make a good day or a good night to watch all three of them. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.